Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
She's chosen him over us.
When teen dating threatens the family.
I have seen and heard his bad behavior.
I see what it's done in our relationship, and she doesn't seem to care. I kind of needed you too, and she wasn't there for me. She's turned her back on her family.
You start out arguing.
I've never been this desperate. I'm very angry.
I asked you if you could tell her from here truly how you felt, and you couldn't do it.
Start a change reaction in your life.
No question that you're right, but is the way you're handling this working for you? This is going to be a changing day in your life.
10 seconds to air.
I know things are tough out there, but we can do this. Here we go. I want you to get excited about your life.
4,
And ready,
3.
Let's do it. Go, Dr. Phil. Okay, now I've said before that we're going to be the go-to place for information to help parents and teams navigate through difficult times. So we're going to take a close look at teen love today. Now, maybe you can remember when you were a teen and when you were in love. Well, my first guest, Giselle, says that her 18-year-old daughter, Devin, is obsessed with what she calls an unhealthy relationship with her boyfriend, and it's brought nothing but pain and emotional stress to their family. And Giselle says the roller coaster ride has just begun because there's a new chapter in what she calls this horror story, and it's ripping their family apart.
The Devin that I know had goals and was motivated and was a cheerleader. We trusted her. When she got in the relationship with her boyfriend, she became a different person.
I love my boyfriend with all my heart.
Devin's behavior became obsessive on the cell phone, texting and trying to get a hold of him almost every minute of the day.
And them too.
Somewhere around 6,000 messages in one statement. Devin's relationship with her boyfriend was very volatile.
You don't see the part that when we do go out together that we're happy.
Devin, you know what? There's enough things that I've seen that leave a bad taste in my mouth the way he's treated you.
I just don't like how you depict him.
I have never passed judgment upon him except for the reasons that he has given me, that I have seen and heard. That's his bad behavior. That is not my fault, and you keep blaming me for that. You're blaming the wrong person.
Devin chose her boyfriend over her mom and dad, regardless of the consequences.
He wanted to dictate our parenting.
I didn't want to control you, didn't understand why.
He continued to play the game of let's get Devin to go against her parents' wishes. And ultimately, that's how it ended up. I found out Devin was having sex, and I came across an email, so it referred to the possibility that she was pregnant.
When I found out I was pregnant, I just felt scared to tell my parents.
My jaw just went to the floor.
Her father and I were not supportive of her having a baby at this time.
They wanted me to terminate the baby.
But Devin sees things differently and said she wanted to keep the baby. Now, she admits that she argues a lot with her boyfriend, even to the point of vomiting. But she just doesn't understand why her mom is so upset.
I don't regret the decision of keeping the baby at all. But at the same time, it's hard for my parents, especially my mom, to accept it.
I was very upset, and I went through a roller coaster of emotions from sadness and anger and grieving, and it affected me so much that I believe I even had a nervous breakdown. As much as Devin wanted me to support her, it just pained me to even look at her, knowing what her future had to hold for her.
I know my mom is hurting, and I don't want her to hurt anymore. She's not the first parent to have to go through this, and I mean, I'm not the youngest person that's had a child young either, so I just don't know why she's taking it so hard.
Okay, this isn't what you would have predicted with your daughter, because she's been the model daughter, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, and this isn't your favorite place to be right now.
Oh, no.
What would be the perfect outcome for you? If you just knocked a home run here today, what would happen when you left here?
Just for my mom to trust me and see that it's not so bad as she makes it seem.
Are you trustworthy?
I've been, okay.
Now, come on. When I say you're trustworthy, you got pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
you have no ability to raise a baby. You're a baby yourself. And you know this is true. You may not want to hear it, but you know it's true. Have you lied to your parents?
Well, yeah. I mean, no one's perfect. Everyone's have lied. So
Okay.
I'm going to admit, yeah, that I've
All
lied
right.
to my parents.
And have you been judgmental of her?
I've been disappointed.
They didn't want to ask you. Are you a
Yes.
right fighter? Because I see you sitting on that couch and you are right. You are right as rain. I mean, who could argue with your position? No question that you're right. But is the way you're handling this working for you?
Obviously not. That's why we're here.
What do you think, Dad?
No, absolutely. We've been going around in circles trying to make men's meet. We even actually invited her boyfriend to the table to actually so that I can mentor him. That's still not happening.
Right.
You know, just to get to know the boy. That's my biggest problem. I
Yeah,
don't
and
know.
where is he?
He's backstage.
Yeah, he's here, but he doesn't want to come out and participate in this conversation. Why is that?
He feels uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. My parents have been very hard, I guess you can say, brutally honest with him. And I mean, that's how he feels.
Well, if you're going to have adult conversations, you got to step up and have adult conversations. If you're going to play an adult game and get in an adult situation, maybe he'll change his mind and join us, or he can stay backstage. Look, as if being pregnant at 18 wasn't enough to deal with, a few days ago, Devin had a pregnancy scare, which left her completely devastated.
When I went to the restroom today, there was a little bit of blood, and I talked to the nurses, and I've been under a lot of stress, and I was worried. My blood pressure was fine, but then when they actually did a physical ultrasound, they couldn't find the heartbeat. It's just really hard for me, because I don't want anything wrong to happen, because I feel like I'm fighting so hard to make everything work. And I'm just going in the wrong way. I don't know how I'll be if I do end up losing him.
Well, next we're going to find out what happened with Devin's pregnancy and why her mother and father are just so against this relationship. We'll be right back.
I know that Devin had the choice to take the morning after pill because she had access to it, and I felt like she made this choice to become pregnant to hold on to her boyfriend, and that is not the right reason to have a baby.
Well, Giselle and Steve say their 18-year-old daughter Devin's addiction, as they call it, to her toxic relationship has caused a rift in their family. Now, they both describe Devin's boyfriend as her drug and say she chose to get pregnant to keep him from leaving her. But a few days ago, Devin found out some test results that changed, well, just changed everything.
Yesterday, I went to the doctors. They said everything was fine. My hormone levels were up, and they had gained another pound, so I thought everything was gonna go okay. When they went inside to look for the baby, they couldn't find a heartbeat once again, and so the doctor did say I was gonna miscarry. So I lost the baby. I'm sorry, it's really hard.
Well, although Devin lost the pregnancy, her mom is still concerned about her relationship with her boyfriend. And a few days ago, she let her know exactly how she feels.
I am concerned about the way you have been treated. I was concerned how you were going to be treated after the baby. I was terrified for you.
Well, why couldn't you trust in me enough that I would be okay?
I don't trust in you with the decisions you've been making.
Can't believe you right now.
I can't believe just the complete disrespect that you're having either.
You don't think this is gonna affect me in the long run?
You know what, Devin? I could say the same thing. You decided to have the baby. Can't you see how it's affecting me?
Well, it's gone
Huh?
now, okay? It's gone.
And look at the storm we have been through.
Well, there's nothing to worry about now because there's no
I have
baby
everything to
coming.
worry about when it concerns you right now.
How can I feel that you want to be a part of my sport if you don't even care to like him?
That has never been true. I have embraced that boy every single time I've
That
seen
doesn't
him.
mean that you're not gonna. That's like you saying, Devin, I can't look you in
I've
the
tried.
face,
Okay, now, you said you weren't happy that a baby was coming, so you're not sad that now it's not.
I'm sad for Devin, and she finds that hard to accept because I wasn't in love with the idea of having a baby. I wasn't in love with the idea of becoming a grandmother now with just the circumstances. And so it hurts her to know that I didn't love the baby. No, I love my daughter right now, and that's all I could focus on.
Well, first off, let me tell you from the outside of this family unit, I am very sorry for your loss.
Thanks.
I hate that for you. If I was going to choreograph what not to do in this situation, you've pretty much captured it. The rhetoric here has got to come down, Giselle. I mean, now, listen, I never ask people to substitute my judgment for their own, but this ain't my first rodeo. The language is powerful, and it's catastrophic language. You say, I am in such pain. I'm completely in a dark place. I'm crushed. That everything in the family is just going down the drain. I'm consumed. So you're consumed, you're crushed, you're going down the drain. Those things are, I know they're just words, but words are laden with emotion and meaning. You know what I'm saying? Now, you don't agree with her decisions right now and her relationship choices, and I don't either, by the way. I think you're making some really short-sighted choices, and I'm going to talk to you about that. So I'm not patting you on the head and telling you what you want to hear. I think you need to really revisit some things, and I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to tell you what I think you need to do instead of what you're doing. What is it that you don't like about this guy, other than that he got your daughter pregnant?
Really?
What do you not like about
That's
him?
like the end result. That's the end of the story. The beginning of the story is how he has treated her all along is why I'm in the place of...
Which is? He's treated her how, in your view?
He's used and abused her, I feel like. And she was sick over it, even when her senior year. I got a call from the counselor about it. I picked her up from school one day, and she was in the counselor's office bawling her eyes out because they had gotten into an argument.
What does he do that you don't like?
He upsets her, and he makes her angry, and he plays head games with her. And he calls her names, he hangs up the phone.
Can I say what names has he called me?
Please.
Well, I haven't heard them, but they've been on the phone. But just by the dialogue, it sounds like he's saying that you're crazy, there's something wrong with you.
You and your boyfriend don't get along well.
When we argue, of course, there's things I said, but, you know, they see it as, like, emotional abuse. I just see it as being immature. When we first got together, yeah, we were very immature, and we're still growing. I'm not saying I'm the most mature person in the world, but I've matured in time of our relationship, you know?
Does it bother you that he's not out here with you?
I understand where he's coming from. Of course, like, I want him to be out here, but...
Because I don't get that. I don't get if the woman that I loved, I mean, I've been married for 30-plus years. We've been together. I just wouldn't leave her alive. I mean, if there were decisions to be made, if there were issues to be addressed and resolved, who fades in the moment?
He believed that... Well, I also believe that we were coming here so my mom can cope with the issue. And he thought that it was just between me and my mom and that he really had no part in it. Yeah, we're doing this,
What's the root of this problem, though, Dev? That's what you can't take care of one without dealing with the other in the situation is what I was trying to tell you.
Okay, well, I'm not going to force someone to do something. Like, only reason why I'm doing this is for you.
Yeah, and you shouldn't have to force him, but nonetheless, he's not here, so we move on. But here's the thing. You said one of the things was that you blamed your mother for the miscarriage because she got you so upset from arguing. But you argued with him.
Not while I was pregnant.
How do you separate?
It was at a different place and different time. Yeah, we've argued, and the times that she was talking about were at the beginning of our relationship. Yeah, we've had a really hard time, but we're working through that. And I know maybe you shouldn't have to work through things like that at my age, but we are, and we're doing that.
Well, of course you should have to work through them at that age, because you're not prepared to be in a deep and committed relationship at this point. But you do get that if you do get married, that this will get worse, not better.
Well, it's getting better now. Like, We're not arguing as much. We're opening our eyes to a lot of more things.
Now this
Like I said,
started actually getting better once he found out that they were pregnant. This wasn't about
Okay, but what is he
before
supposed to
that
do?
point.
Yell at me and still, like, I think that would have been horrible. I mean, yeah, they said, oh, he's changed his mind and he's being better.
If he would have treated you
No.
that way from the beginning, things would probably be a lot different.
He started treating her like a princess once he found out she was pregnant.
Well, you know he's capable.
And
Seriously,
that's
you
how
know
it
that
should have
he-
been from the beginning.
I get that, but it wasn't. That's then. This is now, and are you thinking about getting married soon?
Not as soon as we thought we were going to not have to, but we wanted, if we were going to have this baby, we wanted to do it as right as we could, being as young as we could, we wanted to have.
Did you get pregnant on purpose?
No, and I get so mad to hear her telling people that I got pregnant on purpose.
No, that's why I'm asking you,
No.
not her.
No.
You didn't get pregnant. Were you taking precautions?
I mean, yeah, there was protection involved, but the pill, no, was not involved.
Was there protection involved? Really? It's really easy to say that just so it doesn't sound so bad.
Okay, Mom.
Well, when you were at Rhonda's, there was a little bit of a laughter over the fact that
was-
really you guys didn't.
Did you use protection? I mean, just tell me the truth. You either did or you didn't. I'm not asking
No.
her. I'm asking you.
No.
These are the facts. This is the truth. What are we supposed to do?
Okay, let's take a break. Although Devin is no longer pregnant, she says she does still plan on marrying her boyfriend, but her dad says, well, I'm not going to walk her down the aisle if she does. We'll talk about all this when we come back.
Shortly after finding out that Devin was having sex with this boy, I actually sat them down and asked them three things. If you're going to move forward with this relationship with my daughter, that is to respect her, love her unconditionally, and protect her. And I feel that her boyfriend has failed on all those counts. If Devin married her boyfriend, I would be devastated. I would definitely think that the line that she drew is now a wall.
No matter what, I still plan to marry my boyfriend. Hope at that time my dad feels comfortable enough to walk me down the aisle, because I mean that's every girl's dream, is to have her father walk her down the aisle.
Well, that was Steve, who says that he won't walk his 18-year-old daughter Devin down the aisle if she marries her boyfriend, because he says their relationship is just not healthy, not something he feels he can in good conscience support. Devin's mother, Giselle, says that she's consumed with anger and sadness about her daughter's choice to get pregnant. And now she can't even look her in the eye without getting upset about the whole thing. You say you didn't get pregnant on purpose, but you didn't use protection either. So, would you agree that that's careless?
Oh, of course, it's careless.
At this point, you have to value yourself enough to say, one of the things about maturing is being able to say, okay, look, what feels good now, emotionally in a relationship, this immediate gratification, because I mean, that's the way kids are. I mean, they want what they want when they want it, and they want it now. And you have to say, look, I need to give myself a chance, a running start, where I can get my education, where I can get my career. And anybody that you're associated with, any relationship you have, whether it's this guy or the next guy or somebody that you meet 5 years down the road, if they can't recognize your personal goals and your personal value, and they would put you at risk of jeopardizing all of that, then I would question either their maturity or their motivation.
And the thing is, it's like, I'm not the only one with goals. He has goals too,
Sure. Well, I mean, the same thing is true. He needs to value himself. And because if you two get married and start having babies, let me tell you, let me fast forward 3 years from now. You're going to have a
that's
kid.
what I said. We're not planning on.
Well, you're going to have a kid. Well, you just about had one.
Yeah.
And you follow this same course of failing to protect yourself, you're going to wind up with a kid strapped to each leg, trying to figure out how you can work part-time and get these kids in daycare and have $40 left over. And you don't want that for your child.
Oh, I understand.
You don't want that for you. Well, you say you understand, but yet you did put yourself in harm's way.
Well, yeah, because, I know they wanted me to have an abortion, and I didn't feel that was right for me. You know, I didn't feel that I was, in my heart, I just feel that I couldn't have done it. And we did sit down and we talked about how are we going to do this? And we looked at the things that we could do for ourselves and try to make the best life as possible. But at the same time, they're looking at us and they're like, oh, you're going to brought up a baby in a broken home and everything's going to be so bad. How do you think your child is going to feel and everything like that? I was like, okay, that's only if you let it happen. If we're trying to do the necessary steps, you know, like he's still planning on going to the military, but he was planning on finishing some school and then going. But now he's going in March because we thought we were going to have a baby.
Dr. Phil, we tried to paint a picture of both scenarios, and I said, you know what, Devin, I want you to be happy, and I want you to have the fairy tale dream. I said, but you also have to be prepared about what is the other option that might happen? What's the other side of the story?
Yeah,
and you have to look at both. I said, you know, because if one doesn't work out, then the other one is what you're going to end up with.
Well,
and
you
so
never let me let down the whole two sides of it. Yeah, you always gave me the negative side. So I always realized the negative side too, but I mean...
Listen, in fairness to your mom, in her defense, there's not a lot of upside to having a baby at a very young age with no education completed, no career in place, no life plan for the child.
But it's possible. As hard as it is, it's possible. And I believe that I was smart enough. There's like there are girls that get pregnant at 15. I was 18, I at least finished high school. I'm still pursuing my college degrees and everything, and I was still planning on going to college while still being pregnant. It wasn't like I was gonna stop going to school at all.
there was not much difference between her being 16 years old in the same position that at an 18-year-old right now.
Dr. Phil, this is exactly what I want her to see. She thinks it's easy for that 15-year-old to have a child.
I didn't say it was easy, but I'm saying that
it's
there's
possible, and so she writes it off. I need her to see reality.
Okay, look, I'm fighting for you here, and I don't know if you realize that or not, but because you can have a baby at a young age and because you can survive doesn't mean that it's wise to do that. And if you have the choice, and you do, then wouldn't you choose a course that would give you the best chance?
Well, of course, but...
the baby the best chance. And what could have happened did. I mean, you have lost the baby. You have to make a decision now that says, look, if I'm old enough and big enough and mature enough to have a child, that I'm old enough, big enough, and responsible enough to do this in a way that gives that baby the best chance in this world that they can get. And growing up in poverty and on government assistance and all kinds of hardships is not something that you want to choose. And it's not all about the money. And if marrying this person is a good idea today, it will be a good idea a year from now or 2 years from now.
And I'm not saying I was ready. I'm not saying I was ready. I just said it was possible because I know I'm not ready.
Okay, then you don't want to do that now,
yeah,
right?
No.
Okay, well, see, we're making some... We'll be right back. Well, Giselle says that she just can't look her daughter Devin in the eye after finding out she got pregnant by a boy that she believes is just all wrong for her. They say they came to the show for the tools to really try and help rebuild this relationship. What have you heard me say to you?
To me, that I need to back off. I'm in an angry place right now with her because I'm desperate and I don't know what else to do. And I'm very angry right now. I see what it's done in our relationship, and she doesn't seem to care enough. And
do you want that relationship back?
Absolutely.
Well, why can't you tell her that without anger? Why don't you tell her that without anger? I mean, take the risk and tell her what you want. Tell her what you
Haven't I told you? I got together with her.
See, you start out arguing. I asked you if you could tell her from here truly how you felt, and you couldn't do it. You said, I've already told you, I want to be right. I've already told you this. You are wrong for not hearing me. You've got to see this isn't working, Giselle. Look, I'm not trying to pick on you here. I've said to the rafters, you guys have been good parents, and you've raised a daughter you ought to be proud of. But you've got to put the anger aside, and anger is nothing but a protection against your real feelings of hurt. You are very hurt by what this little girl has done because you had dreams for her, you sacrificed for her, you gave to her, and she has turned her back on all of that.
She's turned her back on her family. She's chosen him over us. She left our home to go be with him, and she's still there. She's still there.
And I'll explain that to you.
Not yet.
Okay.
I love you. And I am in pain because of all of this. I just can't explain. I just can't even explain it to you anymore because I feel like I've said everything to you, that everything I've done, and it's been out of love for you. And I don't know what else to do but be angry because she just doesn't want to hear it. She doesn't want to hear that it's an unhealthy relationship and that it needs work. She's making excuses for him time after time. She lies for him, and she doesn't come to us about anything about their relationship when it's bad anymore. So she's not even honest with us anymore. She can't even talk to us anymore.
Do you miss your daughter?
Absolutely.
Tell her that.
I miss you. And I miss our relationship. And I love you.
Love you too.
And I'm sorry I'm in an angry place right now. I've never been this desperate, feeling this desperate in my life before.
I understand. You're scared to death. And let me tell you something here. Do you believe that these two people want the best for you?
Of course.
No, I mean...
No, I know.
I mean, really.
I know, but...
Do you think there's anybody in this world that would fight harder, sacrifice more, give up more, do more than these two people for you?
No.
Do you think there's anybody in this life that would choose a better life for you than them if they had the choice?
No.
And I'm not judging your boyfriend, don't even know him. What I do know about him is he isn't here at your side. And that doesn't, to me, just man to man, I don't like that. I don't like that even a little bit. But that's between you guys. But if you recognize and believe that this is the woman that brought you into this world, these are the people that held you when you would die without their being there, who bought you toys and held you in their lap and cleaned up your vomit and all of the things that they've done year after year after year, that have written to me desperately asking for help. If somebody that had proven to me year after year after year that they had my best interest at heart, and then they were coming to me with a point of view and a perspective, I would weigh that carefully. Not saying I would agree with it, not saying I would turn my life over decision-wise, but I would weigh very, very carefully that maybe they're seeing around corners that you can't see.
I did not question their love for me. It wasn't like that. And just to go back on the reason why I left is because my dad had mentioned that if I did keep my baby, that I would be out of the house.
I understand. Well, but y'all did not support this decision. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I'm going to hear from Dad. I'm going to hear what Steve has to say about this situation, and I'm going to put some verbs in my sentences about what needs to happen next. We'll be right back. We're talking about teen love. I've made a commitment to you viewers at home that I want to be the place that you can go when you've got questions about your kids and about your family. Giselle and Steve are here with their daughter Devin. She's in a relationship that they do not support. They think it's not in her best interest. She disagrees. A pregnancy came from this relationship, and there was a miscarriage just a matter of a very, very few days ago. So emotions are raw here on everybody's part. Giselle is looking through a veil of anger. Steve is looking at these two women that he loves more than anything else in the world, saying, you know, what can I do to heal this situation? You know, it's natural when kids grow up, they start to become independent and they break off. You know, first, you can't get them off of you. Like, turn loose a mother's leg, I need to go do something. And then as they get older, they start to break away. And it's always painful. We hope we've prepared them to break away in a fashion that they don't self-destruct, that they don't put themselves in harm's way. You haven't self-protected very well here. You're in a relationship with a boy that, by your own description, it's been very contentious. I mean, you've argued a lot. You've had a lot of conflict in the situation. That's a bad sign. I mean, dude, I don't care whether you're 30 or 13. That's a bad sign. You failed to self-protect in that you allowed yourself to get pregnant out of wedlock without a life plan. What are you going to do if he just breaks up with you and says, I've just had enough? I mean, she's wacko up there with her parents talking to this bald guy. For God's sakes, I don't need all this. What are you going to do if he quits on you?
I mean, that's his choice. There's nothing else.
That's what he's saying. He's backstage right now telling the people back there, I'm through with her. I'm done. I'm out of here. I mean, I'm sure that's just anger and fear. But, you know, at some point, you have to decide you're going to take care of you. And, you know, isn't that dad to dad? I mean, isn't that what we want, is for her to self-protect? You can't be there every day for the rest of her life.
Every day, and the guy you want to hand her off to, you want him to protect him, just as you would.
Yeah.
You know, and we only want what's best. And if their relationship was on a good stand where they had some, you know, goals and some initiative, it would be completely different.
I'm just wondering if you're weighing all of that in terms of, are you making the right choices for yourself? And even if he's the right choice, you might want to require some things in moving forward here to give the two of you the best possible chance.
Of course, and like he's trying to move along. Like I said, he's planning on going to the military and everything like that. So I mean, he's trying to step forward and do more mature things and more adult things and everything like that.
Yeah, well, I hope that's true. I'll start with you right after the break. Got to take a break. We'll come back to you. Well, I'm here with Devin and her parents, Giselle and Steve. What I'm interested in focusing on at this point is how we get back to some kind of unity in this family. Does your boyfriend object to your relationship with your parents? Would he rather you not talk to him?
Oh no, he never said don't talk to them. I mean, especially when I found out that I was gonna miscarry, he was the one that said, go to your mom's house, Devin. You should go to your mom and see your mom. And I was like, no, I don't wanna see my mom right now. I was very upset with her.
Your mom has been the way she's been, out of pain. It's not like, let's just see if I can be a bitch with my daughter.
Oh, well, yeah.
He may stay, he may go. They're in for the long haul.
Oh, yeah.
You get that, right? Mm-hmm. And you don't want to take that for granted because, listen, I've been very straight with you that I say your anger is so obvious. I mean, people driving by on Melrose know you're angry. I mean, really.
I know.
I mean, it's like, says, angry. And boy, could I argue your case. I mean, really, I get it, Giselle, I really do. But it isn't working for you. You've got to lay that down. Do you think you can partner with her without this anger at this point?
Yes.
Here comes the letdown, though, because for the last year we've been hearing what we want to hear and no delivery. And so she says it, I hope it comes through. Follow through.
Well, I do too. So let's be pessimistic about it and say, you know, I don't believe you. I mean, well, I don't get it. What can she do? What can she do or say that would make you happy right now? That she'll never see him again?
Do what she says she's going to do.
Listen, well, and we won't know that until she does, right?
Exactly.
Because let me tell you, you don't know that he might not be the pick of the litter. The next one may come along and you may say, oh, God, where is he?
I thought of that too.
No, really.
No.
So
This is true.
You've got to work with this situation, because I think you've had a wake-up call. I mean, I think some things happened here, and it kind of spun out of control, and you've been forced back in a painful way. But I see a different look of clarity in her eyes. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I know this: if you keep going at her with anger, however unenthusiastic your yes is, and you're being honest, I get that. But if you keep going with anger, you're going to drive her away from you, and then you have no ability to influence the situation whatsoever. And I will provide whatever resources I can to get you guys started down the right road. You're losing control by the anger. Is it justified? Sure, you could make a case for it, no doubt. But you need to let it go and try to start a dialogue, and you're open to that. You miss your mom. You'd like to be able to talk about these things without getting judged and blasted every step of the way. And you don't have a doomsday contingency here. She says, I am going to protect myself against getting pregnant again, and I am not going to get married in the near term. So if you're honest about that, and are you?
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, we both sat down, we both agreed, we need to get our
I don't care about both of you, I care about you.
Yeah.
That's your requirement of yourself. That's not what you're doing because they want it, you're doing it for yourself. Then take that as a place to start, take that as a foothold.
I just honestly believe it's going to be really difficult to move forward if her boyfriend continues to make her choose between us, because he refuses to build a relationship
Well,
with us.
unfortunately, you have no control over that.
So, and that is her choice.
He has tried, like he said, he was the perfect boyfriend after I got pregnant. And that's true, you know. He did come over a couple times and we were fine. And like I said, he would work double time and he would take extra hours. So when they were available, he wasn't.
But you recognize you have no control over that. You can influence it, and you know.
We've
hopefully,
requested it. We have invited him, and we have asked.
Don't abandon. The last thing you can do, if you think that she's involved with an abuser and a controller, their number one tool is to isolate their victim.
It's already
The worst thing you
How
can
did
do.
he isolate me?
The worst thing you could do is withdraw, because then she is isolated. Don't do that. And if you deal with her with anger, you're driving her into isolation. Don't do that. You have to choose not to do that. Even though you may want to, you lose when you do that. You get angry, you lose.
And I don't believe that he's isolating me, because he's been more than telling me, go visit your mom. Are you gonna go visit your mom today? I've been the one communicating with them. Have they been really calling me? No. I've been calling them.
They're going to do a better job of that, I can tell.
I hope so, but I mean, at the same time, like,
Come on, don't
at the
let
same
her get
time,
isolated. It's the worst thing you can do.
the things that they've said to me has made me not want to go and see them, you know? Especially after the whole miscarriage. Like, yeah, now she's all nice and wants to hug me. And I understand that I'm going through a hard time right now, but I kind of needed you too when I was pregnant. And she wasn't there for me. And now, like, it's like she's relieved that the baby's gone.
Okay, but look, nothing can change what has happened. Your responsibility, you have responsibilities in this relationship as well. Close the gaps. Don't be a victim. Don't be right. You two need to come together. Okay? You have a responsibility to do that. I'm going to give you a tape of this show. I want you to watch it 10 times. Literally, 10 times. And listen to what has been said and what you've said to each other. I think you're going to find a great place to start here. Okay? We'll be right back. Look, particularly when we're talking about young people, we're finding the way along here. True love doesn't make you suffer. It doesn't cause pain. It's not always easy. But in your heart, you know what's right, and you don't want to settle for anything less than that. For more information on how to get these things started, particularly at a young age, go to drphil.com, click on our online community, and there's an area there called Teen Talk, and you can take our quiz to let you know whether or not you're in a toxic relationship, because some people just don't know that this isn't the way things are. If you have a dating dilemma, go to drphil.com, click on Be on the Show, tell us your story, because I do want to talk about these things. If you get off to the right start, oh, it makes it so much easier than starting off with so many things out of control. Thank you for being here today. Thank you so much.